This week, we've seen a pickup in the markets after all those issues around the banks were sorted out and the results started creeping in. That's continued into today. What do you make of the markets?
Hi, Lerato. Thanks for having me. Like as expected, we actually saw a pickup on the exchange. From yesterday, we saw a gain of 1.7% on the bars, and today we saw another gain of about 1% at 1.02, closing at 480 something points. Up, we saw the activities sectoral analysis. We actually saw the banking sector actually leading the pack. The banking sectoral analysis gaining a whopping 2% points on the exchange today. I mean, typically it's a matter of everybody has been awaiting it. Yesterday was a heave of a good sigh of relief, and as such, we actually saw the huge gains that we saw on the exchange. 450 something points yesterday. Today we saw another 285 points today, and basically, if you look at it, we see the activities driven by the banking sectors. Albeit, I would like to watch and see how it continues, but I see a bit of fizzling into the end of this week.
Something else that should have had bearing on the market was the decision by the Monetary Policy Committee to raise interest rates yesterday. Has the fixed income market reacted? Typically, we saw wide swings on the market today at the back of that. Overall, we actually saw more activities on the long end of the market. The 5 years and the 20 years actually being impacted in terms of yields, rising about 25 basis points on those tenors. Typically, we would expect that market will actually await the next auction. You would actually see the full pricing effect of this MPC on the next auction. But beside that, we'll only see trade opportunities across the yield curve on this, on the news of this, and expectedly you'll see the swing on the highs and the lows within the period. But we expect a gradual grind upwards in terms of yields. I mean, we'll see the money market actually reacting to that one, closing up tonight today at about 10 percentage points on the money market short-term funds. I mean, another concern has been the exchange rate, and we're seeing the naira just upwards of 156 naira to the dollar. How do you explain this kind of naira weakening on the back of the decision taken by the MPC?
I would say the naira reacted fairly as expected this morning. At the beginning of trade, we actually saw the naira dropping about 50, 60 kobo at the opening this morning, which was fairly expected. The huge surge that we actually saw towards the close of trading was at the back of the demand at the CBN window. We saw another new high of about $500 million being demanded at the auction this week, today. And taking into consideration that this is the last auction for this week, you obviously would see a lot of traders actually gauging in to cover whatever short position that might have been created, or whatever position that might have been created on the back of the MPC announcement. But overall, if you take into cognizance the governor's statement as per the demand being temporary, we think that these pressures over the time would abate and would get to a normal level for the exchange rate.
Let's unpack the governor's statement a little bit more. Obviously, some of this demand is fueled by broader issues within the energy sector and demands for dollars with a higher oil price, but also the upcoming elections. In your view, is what we're seeing on the interbank market just a temporary situation, or could it continue post-elections?
If I look at the price action on the market, I would actually say it's tethering on the fact that if I look at the close on Friday, it actually dropped a whooping 2 naira on Friday. So what we would like to say, okay, yeah, tethering in the sense that any surge, any expected inflow, and any form of stability that comes in the market would actually push the market down, and we'll see the naira obviously gaining against the greenback. I think market would want to watch on flows. I think market would want to see liquidity levels, and I think generally they want to see what sense of direction that they get from the CBN window as per the CBN determination to meet whatever demand that comes through that window.